Hello everyone, welcome to this week's Lunch and Learn. We will have lunch together, we will learn, we'll have some fun and expand our knowledge and hopefully instill lots of best practice in the short-term rental industry. As always, I am going to have my lunch, guys. Somebody made a comment last week saying, well, you're sitting eating, it's very rude. I put these in when I am having my lunch, just simply because this is essentially free training to the world. It doesn't benefit me any apart from raising a little bit of awareness. So I do these when I have time and I just have my lunch. While it's all getting set up, I have my lunch and I have my little protein bar and a coffee just to make sure I can fit these in every single week. So if you are watching live, welcome. Thank you very much. You can submit your questions, put them in. If you have registered to be on this Lunch and Learn via the webinar, then guys, nice and simple, we will always pick someone that has registered to be here and give them a prize at the end. Most likely a copy of my new free book or a free copy of my new book. So guys, anybody that's registered, the team will pick out someone at random who has registered. If you're watching this on replay and don't get your questions answered, just submit them to the team and we may be able to do one in a few weeks. I'm going to jump in. I'm going to try and get this one done, guys, within half an hour. Normally keep delivering content and they go on for 45 minutes or an hour. Half an hour for this one, guys. Today's topic, lovely, lovely topic. Always love talking about this, and that is direct bookings. So a few slides to share, guys, but this is a conversation. I'll be delivering some 14 ways. 14 ways. Now, there are unlimited ways to get direct bookings, but I'm keeping it to half an hour. So I'm only going to focus and skim the surface. If you're building a bulletproof, future-proof short-term rental business, you're going to need more than just a couple of minutes on each of these topics. There's no upsell, just some content. Let's fire up these slides and move on. Guys, if you're watching live, put your comments in and I should be able to bring them into the software and put them on the screen. So moving on, I think we've got 14 ways, smart ways to generate direct bookings. For most of these guys, by the way, there is no magical art. Some of these will surprise you. Say, oh, I haven't been doing that. But what I can say is some of these are basics. I need to do the basics because I don't see people doing the basics. They say they, well, I love direct bookings. Everybody wants direct bookings, but they don't just come with zero work. You're going to need to make a little bit of investment in technology, for example, for your own direct booking platform, but you can't just put them on the OTAs and expect direct bookings. There's going to need to be something happening that may happen at the start, whether that's time intensity or financial money you've invested for outputs. So lots of people always want direct bookings. See very, very few people, again, including some of our hosts, oh, you guys should be getting us direct bookings. We do, but they don't even make the investment in their property to get that up to standard for direct bookings. So see lots of stuff in the forums, guys. Direct bookings, everybody wants them. Not everybody's going to get them, unfortunately. So let's have a little look at some of these tips. First one here, and this again, what we're doing is we're taking training here, guys, from what we train our franchisees to do for our hosts and our property managers. You can maximize your exposure using free online marketplaces. Again, this is probably a 2-hour training module for the team. Once you get to that level within Pillow, it's 2 hours on this one slide alone, but I'm going to get through it in a minute. Listing sites, and there are 3 ones there. And guys, for the definition of this Lunch and Learn, we are saying direct bookings are essentially anything that's not through airbnbbooking.com or OTAs. It may be a direct booking that you get from something that you are paying for, that you have paid for. So the last slide there, listing sites, is a booking that you get the contact details and you control. So not necessarily free, guys. I'm not going for getting free bookings. Why? There's a customer acquisition cost to all bookings. The customer acquisition cost for Airbnb and Booking.com is what they charge you. The customer acquisition cost for Facebook ads to get your direct bookings or drive them towards your website. Your customer acquisition cost, if they just book direct, is the money you have invested in the ongoing maintenance of your direct booking site and including your time. So not necessarily free bookings or commission-free bookings, but for the purpose of this, we're classifying a direct booking as one that we control, that's not through Airbnb, that doesn't have all the crazy terms and conditions that they can't refund, and we have a lot more control over, and we can have as a direct 100% commission-free booking if they ever stay with us again. Guys, as always, it's a lunch and learn. I'm eating my lunch. Hopefully you guys are too, so please forgive my chewing. Online marketplaces. So there are lots there. Online listing sites. These are predominantly free. You may pay, 10 quid a month. You could pay, back in the day, if you remember, TripAdvisor. TripAdvisor, before it got Holiday Lettings, before Holiday Lettings got acquired by TripAdvisor, Holiday Lettings had two payment options. They would be an OTA and they would take a percentage of the booking, or you paid 250 quid to list for a year. So that essentially was a one-off payment. And if you got lots of bookings via Holiday Lettings back in the day, it was much, much better to go for the payment option, because you get access to the details straight away. Whereas with the commission structure, which Airbnb and Booking.com have, essentially it was hard work. So listing sites, you may pay for them. The majority of them are free. There's local community groups and sites, whether this is Facebook or listing groups, people coming together just to promote tourism in your area. And that leads me to the last one there, DMOs, Destination Management Organizations. Now, a few years ago during lockdown, I had some qualification through Heriot-Watt University in Edinburgh. I'm a Destination Management Organization manager. I can do this. So we had to do a little project. So destination management organizations are essentially things that are set up. If you think Visit Britain, Visit Scotland, Visit Wales, all of these are DMOs, Destination Management Organisations. So in your area, you will have a Visit Cornwall, a Visit Devon, Visit Lake District. There'll probably dozens and dozens of these for the bigger holiday home areas, but you will have DMOs, Destination Management Organisations, that are set up. It could be at a governmental level, it could be local government, or a group of businesses coming together just to promote tourism. So you'll see these everywhere. On the live training, we would give lots and lots of examples to these. We work through these with our local property managers. Again, each one of these, I always refer to my lovely background, is a Pillow Partners franchisee or property manager. They would square away all their DMOs, all the things in their area, every single one of these community groups. But DMOs might be local businesses coming together. It could be restaurants, cafes, bars, mostly the hospitality industry, but you'll see a little tab at the top of the website saying accommodation, but it won't be accommodation listing site. It'll be a DMO, Destination Management Organization, that's promoting tourism and inbound money to the area. Now, I put a little extra one on here. DMOs are changing in England, the way the funding goes. So they used to be called Destination Management Organizations. You search them, you would normally find them, but in England, they're changing it. So now changing it to Destination Partnership Developments, Local Visitor Economy Partnerships, and Destination Organizations. So I'll make one up here. Let's say somebody was promoting tourism to the Shetland Islands. It would be either the local authority that is funding these websites, pushing SEO, building a plan to get tourism into the area, or businesses coming together. We want to get people to come and spend money in Shetland. Businesses pay money to get on there, and you will see your business can be on these, Visit York, Visit Yorkshire, Visit the Lake District, Visit Derbyshire, the Peak District. There's lots of those about, so have a look for them. You may need to pay to get on them. If you're paying £100 to save £1,000 in costs, is it worth it? Absolutely. So number one here is free online marketplaces. As I say, guys, one of the first things when we come up here for training with my team, we'll be sitting through there and we will be finding every single one in that area so that we've got a list of them all across the UK. Number two, I'll be very quick on this one, social media. This is a free tool. If you want to list on Visit Scotland, I think you need to pay for it. Maybe you need to do it and Visit England. But social media is free. I want you to be very, very clear here, guys. Sometimes you need to make sure that your visibility is spot on here. Do not sit and waste loads of time promoting it to 2 different visitors here, guys. I want to make sure that your time is well spent. Social media can be an absolute time vampire. You want to be very, very careful that you are spending your time in the right places. Now, before we go on to number 3, let me see. Yeah, let's go back to these. I want to be clear about who this is for, guys. Anyone with serviced accommodation. Should have done these first. Too busy stuff in my face. Anyone with serviced accommodation, those thinking of starting, you want to start doing this research in advance, guys. Get all these things squared away so you have a solid marketing plan, or are considering switching to an agent. You could be doing these things yourself, but you want to switch to an agent. You want to make sure your agent is doing some of these. You want to make sure if your agent isn't doing these, that you can supplement your agent. If I'm just not going to do these things, you guys want to make sure that they are. And if you're looking to switch agent, not switch to an agent, but switching from an agent, ask them about these things. Now, the reason I want to go back to this, I think it's worthwhile saying, if you are one person with one property, do you really need to be putting time and money into getting direct bookings? In many cases, the answer is no. If you read the forums, people are quite happy sitting with sites cottages. People are quite happy with Airbnb. I come across people when we get new hosts say, let's say a booking.com, listen, they don't have it. They've had Airbnb for 5 years and that's all they've ever used. So some hosts don't even know that there's other platforms there. I don't like the feel of other platforms. So some people get exactly what they want with using online travel agents, and they're happy to pay. Why? Because they don't do anything. All they do is wake up and get bookings. Saw somebody saying they made 100 odd quid in the sauna the other day. That is a grand strategy. And they made it through getting a booking online, not making money in the sauna. But guys, you can make money literally in your sleep because bookings come in. You don't need to do anything because all these things that we are talking about here, Airbnb and Booking.com, spend hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars a year to get bookings for you. So you may not need to compete with them. You might be quite happy with your one booking source. And always remember, guys, I'll put this up. It might end up costing you a lot more money. So the things I'm going to speak about here today, these 14 things, you could do them, you could master them, you could cut the OTAs out absolutely totally. You could have not another Airbnb booking and get direct bookings. It could end up costing you more. There's always a customer acquisition cost, whether that is time or money. Everybody wants direct bookings, guys, but not everybody needs them. If you're one person with one property, does it make sense for you to be putting your time and effort into all the things we are going to share? That's not a question for me to answer. That is one for you to think about. If you're one person with one property, is it really worth your time and effort to do this? Could you just let the portals do it? Could you give it to an agent? Are you going to lose more money? If you're an architect and your time's worth £100 an hour and you're spending 3 hours to get a couple of direct bookings, you could be losing 300 quid to save 100 quid. False economy. So let's go back. Number 2, social media, guys, just be posting and it's free. You need to build up a little bit of a following, but if you have your own page, some people may be searching as long as you put the right parameters into your text. People would say, I want to find a lovely host in Yorkshire. And they would find it in yours, may come up. We can share links very easily. You can share guest comments. You can share reviews. It's a really, really quick and easy free way, one, to be proactive and put stuff out to get people to click links and come back and book. But you can really, really get reviews on there, and you can put your own social media on there. Again, your friends and family will share it. Perhaps your previous guests will share it, which they then recommend to their thousands of contacts, and you're getting bookings from that. Next, networking. Again, we're coming into the part of, right, if you've got one property, the slide we put on at the start, if you have one property, guys, is it worth you paying £1,000 a year to the BNI, the Business Network International Organisation? Is it worth paying £1,000 a year to go to networking and committing a morning every single week without fail? How many bookings are you going to get? What networking is good for is getting contractor and corporate bookings. I'm going to bring this here. If each one of these are our property managers and they all go to networking, they are all going to various networkings, probably one a week, minimum of one every 2 weeks. And they are building up a reputation for being or who's the go-to person? Who's the person that could help me with accommodation for my guys? Who's the corporate letting person? You want to be known for that person in your area and build awareness. We teach our team to do it. You want to be that person that gets tagged in social media. When they go to networking, they are the expert, the go-to person in the area. Always tell the story of Emma Wolf. When it was just me starting the business, I was a go-to person in Glasgow well before MDLs even had heard the term serviced accommodation, short-term rentals, holiday lettings, corporates, but we didn't really call it service accommodation. I would get tagged in everything, and I would get asked to speak at Glasgow events. Now I'm invisible, and Emma Wolf has done her job very, very well, and she is the go-to person that gets tagged in. I get tagged in very rarely, but Emma's speaking at all the events. She's part of the networking group, and all our guys are guys and girls all across the UK. So networking is a fantastic place to get corporate and contractor bookings. You can get holiday let bookings. They will take care of themselves from the online travel agents, not a problem. To get local corporate bookings and contractor bookings, you're going to need to do a little bit more work. So networking is fantastic for this. There's a guy, Richard, that runs a networking event. I think it's Saba, for corporate and contractor bookings. They're the places you want to be going. And there'll be a little cost. Hey, it's 20 quid, but who cares? It's 20 quid. You're going to be networking. You're going to be learning anyway. So networking, fantastic place. And I'm putting predominantly physical networking. The rest of these things, loads of things online, limited, really. You can tie that up with social media. Guys, make sure you're going to physical networking. If you are building up a bigger business, if you're one person with one property, is it worthwhile going to a networking group every single week to try and get referrals? That is up to you, and it depends. If you've got a one-bedroom property, above a fast food shop, or it's not that good and it's 49 quid a night, chances are not. But if you have a big luxury holiday home or a property like a penthouse in the city centre that you need insurance bookings for, direct contractor bookings, corporate bookings, guys, it may be worth it if it's a higher value property. Number 4, your own direct booking website. Well, that is obvious. I say platform, sorry guys. 2 ways to do this. One, you probably have your own linked into your PMS system, your property management system. Remember, if you change property management system or that happens to shut down for any reason, your whole direct booking platform will disappear. It's always good to have your own one on a WordPress site or whatever that links in. Many people, Mark from Boostly will build you one of these. There's big names in the industry there, but get your own direct booking platform. I see people in all the forums. I've had to scroll through. They'll be sharing booking.com links. Guys, when you share a booking.com link, even if you try to share a hotel with your girlfriend or your wife or your husband that you want to book, it will take you to the main page and list other people's. We never want to send links to a site where they can jump off and pick your competitors' properties. So we never want to share OTA links. It's just crazy. 90% of links shared online are online booking are not your own booking platform. Which means somebody will go and say, oh, I like that, but since I'm on Airbnb, oh, booking.com's recommended that one, much cheaper, book that. So you want to control where the links are going. Right, good SEO, search engine optimization, guys. This is massively important. Milo is outside, he does our SEO, he builds our website. He does all the H tags, etc. We're lucky enough that we have a team doing this. Yeah, but you want to just research it, Google it, do an online course, 10 minutes, and there'll be many YouTube videos. Go, make sure your website is found. If you've got your own direct booking platform via your PMS, then it won't necessarily be set up. It might not be as efficient as your own website that you can custom code or at least do some customization with WordPress or other sites. So pointless having the best looking direct booking platform with instant checkout, live availability, brilliant, if nobody can find it. So you need to make sure that yours is found. Now, guys, again, we teach all this to the franchisees. You might be coming up in page 8, but that's okay, because if people are going to find direct to booking sites, they're going to go past, because if you put your area, service accommodation, your area, holiday homes, your area, whatever your property is, service apartments, holiday cottage with hot tub, your area, you'll probably be on page 4. Why? Because all the ones like Booking.com, Airbnb, Expedia, all these big things are going to be in the first few pages, but that's not a problem because MD looking for your site specifically will bypass all these to find your direct site. Why? Because they probably think they'll get a good deal. There are people there that just don't want to use the big platforms because they know they're more expensive. Pointless going back to step number 4 of having your own platform if nobody can find it. So we need to put a little bit of time, effort, probably money into getting it searchable. And that, by the way, SEO is all changing. It's all dynamic. So whether you're paying for ads to get people there, different topic. But guys, you just need to keep an eye on this and at the very least, be aware of it. Your competitors, great way to get bookings. Pillow Partners, sees it in the shirt. It says stronger together, all about, coming together and helping, collaboration, not competitors. You make friends with your competitors and we're sometimes enemies with our competitors because they're there to steal our bookings and we're competing against the same guests. Guys, why not collaborate? Why not work in conjunction with your competitors? Because if they've got a double booking, they could give it to you. If they're heating breaks, they could give it to you. If you can't service a booking, then hey, you can give it to them. They could maybe even charge them 10%. But again, a 10% booking that's direct from someone else is worth it because you could get them again. So guys, work with your competitors. We do this across the UK, a lot of guys pass bookings between each other. We're nice and lucky that, well, my business model is we will want each of our property managers to have 50 properties, meaning that we have hopefully the biggest chunk of properties in that area. And we can pass bookings between each other. So if that property is filled, somebody's maybe came 3 years in a row and forgot to book it and it's filled, we can pass it to one of the people in our cluster, the people that we use at Pillow Partners. So guys, use your competitors. Don't make them competitors, collaborate with them. That makes sense? Joint ventures, local businesses, attractions, groups. If you saw the picture, I'll try and get it on the screen. We had sponsored the local ice hockey team, Glasgow Rocks. Glasgow something or other. I'm not an ice hockey fan. Sorry, guys. If you're watching from the ice hockey and I don't know what your team's called, I'm apologising for that. But we've got their names on their shirts. We've got their names and the Pillow Partners logo on the side of the ice rink. Yes, that costs money, but will that get us more money for our clients? We're unique. They're a management company, and we can spread that cost out over the 100-odd properties we have in Scotland and 1,000 across the UK, whatever that number is. But that will get us a little bit of awareness. We pay for that, but that gets our hosts commission-free bookings. It's not free bookings because we are going to be paying a lot of money for that sponsorship. But what can you do? Local teams donating something. You can get kids' football teams very, very cheaply. Little business things you could joint venture to say, I will give you covers for your restaurant. If you promote that to your guests, taxi drivers, Uber drivers, lots of things you can do. Again, that is a full seven hours training on that alone for the Pillow team. So you're going to need to go and research that one yourself. But local businesses, attractions, groups, you can send people to X attraction. They've got your leaflets there. Something like that, guys. Use your imagination. Number 8, the online travel agents. But Scott, that's not an direct booking. I know. But if your listing is written in such a way, for example, if somebody is looking to book your property direct, they want to be able to find you direct from what you're writing on your OTA listing. I'll give you an example. You've got a property in Manchester city centre, Birmingham city centre, and if you're putting city centre 2-bed apartment, you're not going to be able to find you. But if you've got a unique name, so again, like Pillow Partners, if you've got a unique name like the Old Foundry Penthouse, Old Church Conversion, they can copy and paste that and put it into Google and find you. Now on Airbnb, in Booking.com, you'll get the address. That's a lot easier. But wherever you're listing, guys, you want your name to be findable. For us, I think on our listings, it's always managed. So we've got corporate accounts for Booking.com and Airbnb. So our host profile always says Pillow Partners. It's not, hi, it's Scott. Back in the day, it used to be Scott, but now it's Pillow Partners. And people can find us by Googling Pillow Partners. Much easier to do than Dave. That makes sense. So we can use that. If they're set up right, you can write the descriptions so that people can find you guys. Disclaimer here, I do not want to cut the OTAs out of the picture. That is not the purpose of this. We don't steal bookings from the direct. We do not steal bookings from the OTAs. However, if a person can't book your property because the dates are not showing available, we still want them to contact us. We still do not want to lose that booking to a competitor. We want them to contact us. We're no way trying to steal business off the OTAs. They do an amazing job for us and our hosts. We want to just optimize our listings, that if people can't book and choose to find us and maybe booking and they just want to book direct to get a cheaper price, then that is up to them. But make sure you're findable if you're doing that. Lovely, your email list. Store every single previous guest in your CRM. If you're one person with one property, guys, do you need to be expensive customer relationship management software? Do you need to be sending emails every single week? Probably not. But if you've been in business for a long time, or you're capturing leads from networking, or you have some website that allows people to download a free guide, lots of things to get people onto your email list. What I love about our email list, and we don't ever really sell things, it goes out every week, guys. If you want to email our list, I'll get it up here. If you want to be on our email list, I'll see if the team are listening to put a thing in there, probably on lunch as well. And you'll see our weekly deals. Every time we send an email out, we will sell a property for our hosts multiple times. So if we do a property a week, we know that's getting 10 bookings. So your email list there, guys, super, super important. You might only have 5 people on it to start. Is it worth it? What if you did that 5 years ago and you now had thousands on it? So email your list with a special offer in some way that means if you send an email out, somebody will get value from that and they will book with you. Brilliant. Loyalty programs. Why would people book? My dyslexia coming up. An extra Y or a T. Reasons to book direct. Why would somebody book with you direct rather than going to the OTAs? With the OTAs, it's one-click checkout, it's security, it's nice and easy. They can get refunds, there's terms and conditions, it's all geared towards protecting them. Why would somebody bypass all that to book with you? I think the number there is a minimum of an 8% off, but guys, you can do lots and lots of things to get them to book direct. Do they get an early checkout? They get an early check-in, a late checkout? Do they get a package, a romance package? Do they get money off somewhere? Do they get a special visit to an attraction that you've joint ventured with? Remember one of the previous things. Guys, there's loads of things that you can do to really increase that wow factor. A customer cuddle, we like to call them, at Pillow. What are you doing to get loyalty, to get people coming back? Only today, as I was sitting, finishing my lunch, I was looking just to see who was registered, who was coming on, and a quick look at social media and people bitching about their guests on the main forums, the main service accommodation holiday let forum, bitching about their guests. Those guests are never coming back because the hosts are very, very hostile. Yes, you might need to sacrifice charging them £5 for that vase they broke, or I'm going to charge them £2.50 plus a £30. I know it's only one fork, but I had to go and replace the fork. I'm charging them £35 plus VAT to go to Wilkinson's to get it, or whatever shop, I don't know. They're charging them admin fees. That's not a loyal guest. That is a guest that's going to hate you and give you a bad review. So I see it all the time in the forums, guys. Yes, you may need to bite your tongue. Yes, they've treated your property badly. They've smashed a glass. Oh my God. Oh my God. They've taken a cup away with them. How dare they? I'm going to ruin them online. I'm going to bitch in the forums. That's not going to get you a loyal guest. Whatever you're making for charging the deposit and taking 10, 20, 30 pounds, you're losing in loyalty. They're never, ever going to come back to you. So I see people making that mistake all the time. And I'll move away from my spelling mistake on that one. Number 11, PR and free advertising. Public relations, free advertising. Guys, what could you do in your property to get awareness? Nice and easy for us at Pillow because we've got the social impact. We're always doing things, and any time a guest stays, hey, this guest donated this guest helped us fund counselling for teenage suicide, and we got a link to that charity that gave dog food and brought lots of toys up to give to a charity. A big pile of educational books, I don't have any here, that we would give to charities, and bringing sleeping bags and stuff and warm clothes for the homeless. This is opportunities for us to get into the papers and news, everything. So we can do that very, very easily because that's what's our purpose. We're a social impact company. We want to improve stays with improve communities with every single stay. But what can your property do? Has it helped a local farm? Is it sustainable? Are you doing, I don't know, green energy of some way? Have you changed your energy inefficient thing to some woke nonsense that's going to hemorrhage your money and make your property freezing just to tick some boxes and be woke? Maybe you've done that, but those types of shit get you stories in the newspaper. Being a successful business that makes lots of money doesn't. So saying, hi, I've got 100% occupancy. Nobody's interested. By saying you're helping the community, you're helping a sustainable business in some way. What is the woke nonsense? What's the narrative that the people in power are pushing down your throats that you see all the time? Because that's what's going to get you in the paper, not the good stuff, not the things. What do you see people virtue signaling about all the time? Well, that is going to get you whatever the flavour of the day, the narrative they're pushing down your throat, guys. That's how you get into the papers and get some free advertising. But there's always things you can do. But let me tell you, a newspaper won't print a story that's, if I won an award, I wouldn't necessarily get in the paper, because that's a thing. That's just there's no interest in that, but I spin on it. Very stupid, thicko, dyslexic person wins award after being told he would be nothing from his school teachers. Well, that's a nice story. Pillow breaks all records with occupancy levels. Well, if we put a spin in that and say, well, you know, Pillow did that while donating lots of our time, and we have a charity that's fully funded with our profits. Well, there you go. It doesn't matter if we made £2 million in income this year, but if we had £2 million, but the profit of this funds a charity, that'll do it. So we do funded stays in all our properties, free competitions. What can you guys do for PR and advertising? Now, this one here is for people scaling up with more than one property. Have your own team doing this. It's just, this is going to cost you time and effort. This one here is going to cost you money, guys. But if you're going to get direct bookings and it is going to cost you money, why don't you have a team? Let's say, do you think Hilton Hotels just relies on booking.com? Do you think Hilton Hotel has their own marketing team? I'll give you an even better example. Do you think the Premier Inn has its own marketing team? Well, 100% does, because they don't list on booking.com. So you have to go to their own website. But just because they've got their own website and they're applying some of the principles that I've told you here, they are going to need to have good SEO on that. They're going to need to promote that. They're going to need, I don't know if they do billboard advertising, but they take their spend from Airbnb and booking.com and any other platforms. They just use, they want direct bookings. So this whole strategy, everything I'm encapsulating here in half an hour, is done by, was it Whitbread or whoever owns Premier Inn, because they just have their own website. You can't get it through booking.com. At the time of recording, that might change. And they get direct customers, they get direct bookings. They're essentially commission free, but they're at a cost because they have a massive amount of salaries. And it could actually be, and I don't know the numbers, I suspect Premier Inn pay a lot less in staff wages and their own marketing infrastructure to get direct bookings than given the money to, because if they went on booking.com, they would just probably have the same success. They'd probably get the same amount of bookings, but they'd be paying a lot more for those bookings. So, and they'd control them less. So having your own team, we've got Milo who does search engine optimization and builds the websites and put pages up and special offers and the events. We've got Robbie, the videographer, that will take this and edit out all my spelling mistakes and swear words. We've got Maria who does the ads and the creative. We've got Ellen, we've got Chloe who does partnerships. Again, go back to joint ventures. We've got people who do all of these, and it makes it a lot simpler for me. I'm not personally involved in all of these, but we have team members that do it. And if you're serious and you're building, let's say, an apart hotel brand or a chain, you're going to need to have your own team for this to be successful. Just doing it, I'll just put a wee post on here and there, or maybe I'll update my WordPress website next week. That's not going to be good enough. Why? Guys, you're going to be up against Pillow people. You're going to be up against all of Pillow's competitors, the ones that aren't with us. There's a lot of pressure on the market, guys. Properties, as we record this in April 2024, massively oversupplied in many, many areas, if not most. We need to do what we can to get bookings, and just half-assing it is not going to be good enough. Coming to the end. physically visiting places. This is how I built Pillow. Sorry, I'm trying to get my lunch because I'm leaving soon after this appointment. Physically visiting places. I call it hitting the bricks. Back in the days, don't have the leaflets. Back in the day, I would go around industrial estates. Do you need accommodation? I would physically visit places. Many years ago, we got 28 properties in Luton. We downloaded a website, downloaded a bit of research from the internet, the 100 best places in Derbyshire, the 100 biggest employers in Derbyshire. We went and delivered leaflets to all 100 of those. The University of Bedfordshire, some NHS thing, the airport. We literally went to nearly 100. There was some you couldn't get, but 100 places from the online research. We found them, we gave them leaflets. Hi, do you need accommodation? Here's some leaflets. So physically visiting places, putting a face to the name, giving leaflets, making yourself known. There'll be industrial estates. There'll be things that people come for training. Remember, if you think of Touchstone education, progressive education, one's in Doncaster, one's in Peterborough, people are travelling far and wide to go to these 2 property training companies. And I'm just mentioning a couple of random ones there. People are going to those. Where are they staying? Well, they'll be staying in hotels. But if you had to partner up with those, for example, they could pass you different leads all the time. You could probably get your property filled if you were in with a company similar to that. And I'm mentioning names, they're not affiliated, but you will know these companies. If you go and did this and try to get into EasyJet, well, if you can get somebody at EasyJet that knows you and physically passing you leads all the time, that is a win. So go and visit places. Premier Inns, great example. 5 o'clock, go check the white vans. Did this myself. My team did this in the early days. See if there's 3 or 4 vans with the same branding. Go in, buy those guys a pint. Hi, guys, can I get you a pint while I talk to you about your accommodation? What if you get you a 2-bedroom apartment with a kitchen? You can get your Xbox. You've got a bedroom each, guys. You've got a washing machine. You've got a garden. You can park your cars nice and easy for less than you're paid for the Premier Inn. Would that be of interest? Can I get you guys a pint while we chat about this? Is that going to work? 100% it's going to work. So physically going and visiting places, stopping when you see building sites, going and seeing things where there's white vans parked outside, speaking to these guys. That may be out of your comfort zones, but guys, that's what you're going to need to do to get direct bookings, because your competitors will be. Number 14, and the last one here, guys, leaflets and postcards. Meant to get some, I've been too busy. We've got little postcards, wish you were here. We post them out, we pass them through letter boxes. We've got lots of leaflets. As I record this, we're down at the franchise show, giving out lots of stuff in London. So leaflets, postcards, just every time you see something, put it under windshields if you're comfortable. Sending postcards to receptionists, to PAs, personal assistants of companies that look after people. Use that example of Peterborough and Doncaster. The people that own those companies, the CEOs, the big property trainers, they ain't booking their own accommodation. If you walked into the Peterborough estate, industrial estate, or the Doncaster estate for Progressive or Touchstone and said, I want to speak to the founder, I've got accommodation, they ain't taking you. Even if you came here, I'd be busy doing stuff like this. I couldn't speak to you about servicing my team with your accommodation, but one of the team would. Somebody's in that, the Peterborough for Touchstone, Doncaster for Touchstone, and Peterborough for Progressive, Touchstone and Doncaster, and even us here. If you came here and says, Scott, you get people coming for training, where do they stay? Well, it wouldn't be me, because I'd be too busy. I'd be doing this. But one of the team's job is to find the accommodation for our team coming up to do training. Somebody's job in every single business to find accommodation, whether it's their own or whether for the team. So guys, leaflets, postcards, physically visiting places, it's a massive one. Now, what have we got? We've got 14, right? So there's 14 to 76. I'm not going to go through the 76 because I'll be here all day. In fact, I'll be here all week. It's Monday as I record this. To really, really do this justice, guys, we would be just here all week. I've got 45 minutes. Said half an hour. Well over it. So this is a quick insight, guys. There's loads more. Some are very, very easy to do. Some are cheap, like, hey, go on social media. That is very broad. That is very generic, and it's easy to do. But it doesn't have a lot of training behind it, guys. I could give you all these 76, but there's tips and tricks and tactics to these. I can give you the words. Social media, get a direct booking platform, but your direct booking platform needs to have a couple of quick links. You need live availability, link to a PMS system. It needs to be secure. It needs to have special tags and things in it so that it doesn't block it for spam. It needs to have a very quick, fast checkout. You don't want 40 links because people get pissed off. It needs to load very fast. There's an hour on each of these ones that I've given you so far, and an hour on the 76. And by the way, that is growing every single week. Always new things happening. So this is a little insight. Don't pick 14 of those guys. Pick maybe 4 or 5 that you think you could focus on to build your business. Questions or comments, guys? I want to get off here at 45 minutes because I end up taking questions and going well over the hour. So most of the people have registered on this webinar. The team will follow up with you guys. We'll pick a winner. You'll get a free book or some free thing. The team will put that out. The marketing team will do it. For now, thank you very much for your time. Direct bookings. I'm going to go back to the very, very first slide here, guys. Daryl says, thank you, Scott. Thank you, Daryl. I'm going to go back to the very, very first slide here, guys. Is it worth it? Is they going to networking and walking around and giving leaflets and spending money on SEO worth it for you? Because you've got one person with one property. Now, these are nice and easy for us because, as I had said, if we look at this, we've got a property manager with 50 properties, 50 properties, 50 properties. We are going to try to get the economies of scale of having 50 people in the UK doing these things simultaneously. The network effect means this explodes for us. We had a leadership meeting earlier. Some amazing statistics on direct bookings, especially for this time of the year. We're just outperforming a lot of other people because we are not just one person with one property. We want to be building a network of at least 50 people in the UK covering the whole of the area. Meaning if this person goes to networking, they would refer that person. This happened. Someone I was speaking to on Friday had some leads for a company that did UK-wide training. They were in Essex. And they mentioned about passing leads to other members of the team. Well, that is a win for us. It's a win for everybody involved, guys. So easy for us to say these things, much, much harder to implement. Is it easier just to stick to your direct booking, just to stick to your OTA bookings and get those Airbnb ones coming in without any brain space, without any money and time committed? Or if you want to utilize a massive network here, reach out to Pillow. So thank you very much, guys. Have a fantastic day. If you're watching live, I'll be back tonight at 7 p.m. in this very studio doing a franchise discovery webinar. If not, I will see you next week for the next Lunch and Learn.